Listen, do you ever hate somebody because they're very annoying and besides that, there's not all that much to really hate them for? Like, they might be kind of an asshole or a douchebag, but like, they haven't done anything that really severely harms the world, but you still kind of hate them anyway. And then they do something horrible, just objectively, outwardly horrific, like a genuinely terrible thing, and you feel bad about it, but you also feel kind of vindicated because now your preconceived notions about that person have been confirmed. Well, the person we're talking about today is Jake Paul, the most hated of the Paul brothers and the youngest thereof. If you're not aware of what Jake Paul's all about, here, I'll just go ahead and play a few seconds of one of his videos so you can get an idea.
Some of you probably have seen recently large men with beards and probably a lot of tattoos following me around recently. And just to clarify, it's security. We have security with us 24/7. So yeah.
Not a fucking... Yeah, so he's basically he's like a vlogging YouTube channel that put out the masterpiece, the 37% upvoted masterpiece, It's Everyday Bro. For those of you guys that aren't aware, it has such amazing lyrics such as, it's everyday bro, with that Disney Channel flow, and England is my city, of course, America is my city. I will not play it, as to avoid giving every single one of you cancer, and thus killing you. And people do not like Jake Paul. People really don't like Jake Paul. They've never really liked Jake Paul. He's just kind of a douchebag. He also boxes now. I think he's just moved on to becoming a professional boxer, but his videos still get millions of views, so he's still relevant. And turns out, on top of being a verified douchebag, he is allegedly a rapist. Now, typically, I try to keep things pretty lighthearted on my channel. When I stream, I try to keep things fun and entertaining and upbeat, but I can't really do that here. We're going over the recollection of a sexual assault at the hands of Jake Paul. So, we're going to be serious about it. We're going to go over... He's not a Britbonger. Jake Paul's not a Britbonger. There was a Britbonger in his song Everyday Bro that said England is my city. He is American. We're going to be watching her recollection of events. Trigger warning, by the way. Trigger warning in the title. If you are somebody who isn't really comfortable hearing about tales of sexual assault and rape, then you may want to butt out. But we're going to go ahead and watch her video. And then we're going to proceed to look at some of the reaction to it. You can already see it's got 16... It has 16K likes, which is nice, but 2.5 thousand people still decided to downvote it, which is certainly what I expect from the internet. Although I have to say better than I expected, because I expected it to be overwhelmingly dislikes to likes. But I assume some YouTuber or somebody must have shared this and some supportive people came and liked it, because if she just put this out on her own and, like, for example, just Keemstar picked it up, it would probably immediately be 16,000 dislikes to 2.5K likes. Like, let's be honest here. But let's start by watching it. We're going to watch it on 1.5 speed because it is 20 minutes long, and I don't really think I'm going to have that much to say. I'm more so just trying to platform her experience. And, oh, Ethan Klein shared it? That's good. Yeah, that's probably where a lot of the support came from. It's not like I'm going to be responding to what she's saying. It's more so going to be I'm platforming her story and her evidence and her proof. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the opposition saying she's lying and most likely end up debunking those claims. All right. Trigger warning. Jake Paul sexually assaulted me. It starts out with some text. Please watch the full video before commenting. This is what happened. I show as much proof as I can throughout the video, and more proof / pictures / texts at the end. I'm going to turn it up a little bit so you guys can hear. Everything I said in this video is true. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I hope this video saves someone else from being in the position I was. Oh wait, and then they edited position here? I guess they just typed this out pretty hastily, which makes sense. Though I imagine someone would probably point that out and get mad about it.
Hi, I feel...
Oh wow, that's way too fast. Okay, never mind. We're gonna turn this down to 1.25. That's a little bit too quick.
I feel really kind of awkward right now because I think about this a lot. I think about it every single day, but I've never said anything about it because a couple different reasons. One, I don't want to ruin someone's career for something that they did. Is it, like, I feel guilty even though I was the one who was assaulted. This happened last year.
Okay. Right off the bat, I do want to point this out. Because I think it speaks a lot to where a lot of women are, and it's mostly women, when it comes to allegations of sexual assault. Because we're currently dealing with a bit of a tug of war culture-wise, where you have a lot of very progressive people and a lot of women that are coming out with sexual assault allegations and supporting Me Too and everything. And then a lot of mostly young men who are terrified. Okay, hold on, really quickly. I'm not going to call out anyone in particular for saying this, but it does feel weird to be complimenting the appearance of a woman who's making a video talking about being sexually assaulted. So I'm going to ask that you guys try not to be weird about it. I get that it may not seem odd to do that, but it is probably inappropriate to be commenting on the appearance of someone giving their story of sexual assault. This isn't the time or place to do that. But I'm not going to call out anyone. Don't call out anyone, specifically. Just be chill, chat. Be chill, okay? But back to what I was saying. I do think this speaks a lot to where we are right now, where in allegations of sexual assault that a woman is putting forward, she has to say and emphasize, I do not want to ruin anyone's career. I feel bad that I might ruin someone's career, and I'm scared that people are going to accuse me of just grabbing for attention or trying to ruin someone's life. Because, and I talked about this in my most recent video that went up a couple days ago, or yesterday, I don't know. A man's biggest fear when it comes to this topic is being falsely accused of sexual assault or rape and everyone believing them, while a woman's biggest fear and the much more realistic fear is being sexually assaulted or raped and people not believing them. So there's sort of a contradiction in desires among these two groups. And obviously men's fear is much more unrealistic than women's.
I haven't said anything. That's why I was too embarrassed. I was too feeling guilty, even though it's not my fault. I guess I should start by saying how I knew him. This story is about Jake Paul. I was going to use a fake name, but if someone else, another girl is in the situation like me and thinks that it's just someone that's nice and sweet, like, he's not. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and use his real name. It was Jake Paul. So I will start with how I knew him, I guess, and when it happened. It happened the summer before all this COVID stuff was happening. That's another reason I was afraid to say anything about it, because so much time has gone by. The time going by doesn't change anything. It still happens, and I still think about it every single day since it has happened. I didn't watch any of Jake Paul's videos. I knew who he was. I knew his name. Like, his face is literally everywhere on, like, book covers and stuff. Like, it would be really hard to not know who he is. But I have never seen, still have never seen any of his videos. So how I met him was through a mutual friend, and I don't want to throw my friends under the bus because they're my friends, they're nice to me. So I was hanging out with my friend Becca, fake name, and she was like, oh my god, I'm bored, let's hang out with some cute boys. I was like, I know cute boys, let's hang out with Michael, fake name, by the way. I texted Michael and I was like, hey, what are you doing? It's been a while, let's hang out. And he was like, yeah, I'm down, come to the studio tonight. And I was like, bet. With Becca, we drove over to the address.
Wait, I'm really curious, very quickly. I'd just like to know how old was she at the time? Does anyone know how old she was at the time? It doesn't change anything about how wrong Jake Paul was, but I'm just trying to see if she was underage when this happened, because that would obviously make it arguably worse, Still bad no matter what. I'm just curious. How she was of age? Okay, cool. Just making sure.
To the studio. What do you know, when we get to the studio, it's the whole Team 10 house. I felt intimidated. I didn't know that the studio that I was going to be pulling...
All right, context for chat here. Team 10 is a group that I believe is run by Jake Paul and Logan Paul. They're both brothers. And Jake Paul's the younger one. And Team 10 is like a vlogging / hype group. And it's basically like a big house where they all live together. It's a big old mansion. And I mean, let's be honest here. Whenever there's like a big house, it's weird, okay, how often these big houses of like content creators end up having some weird shit happen. Though it makes sense considering the fact that when you have a bunch of hormonal young people occupying a large house with a lot of money and a lot of social influence, that, yeah, this kind of shit is going to happen. It's just bad. It's just a bad idea. These dudes get fucking high on their own fame and power and wealth, and they feel like they can get away with anything, and like they have the right to everything and anything. It's very, very common. It's a recipe for disaster, and it's 100% their fault. The blame does not lie in any magnitude whatsoever on this woman or any other victim of this kind of shit.
Up to was like famous people's house. I've hung out with other like famous people. I've met famous people. Like, it's fine being a normal person going to hang out with a bunch of famous people. You got to kind of get that mindset, you know, like ready for it so you don't act stupid in front of them, whatever. So I was a little thrown off. I didn't know that we were going to be even going to the Team 10 house, which is just like a giant mansion basically where Jake and some of his friends live. As soon as you go in to the Team 10 house, right on the side of the wall, there's this thing that like takes your picture and has you sign an NDA form. Also, that is why I thought I wasn't allowed to talk about.
Oh, dude. Hold on. Chat's dead, but it'll come back. I'm pretty sure chat will come back. That is so sketchy, dude. I think I have an idea of why they say they have something like that in, that you have to get a picture taken, you have to sign NDA because they film videos there, and I guess leaking particular stuff about videos happening could be bad for them. But it's also really sus when you consider the fact that now they aren't allowed to talk about stuff going on there. I don't know how far and wide the NDA reaches, but that is so fucking sketchy.
About this, and then I made a TikTok today asked if someone assaulted me but I signed an NDA, like, am I allowed to speak about it? Because I thought if you signed an NDA you're like signing away your rights to talk about anything basically. But yeah, after signing the
Okay, to make it clear, I don't believe an NDA makes it so you can't discuss illegal actions that took place. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I don't believe that if you sign an NDA that you will get in trouble or you can get sued for discussing anything illegal that was done to you.
NDA thing, I met Jake Paul almost immediately. I had to go to the bathroom. I was looking for a bathroom in this huge place. I walk into the kitchen and Jake Paul was there, and like a bunch of people that lived there were there, and they had like whiteboards and they were just doing like businessy stuff. I was just looking for the bathroom. I didn't know where the bathroom was. Jake was there obviously because it was his house, and he was like, "Hey, I like your hair," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." He asked if I had an accent. I don't know why I didn't think I sounded like that, and I was like, "Oh, no, where's the bathroom?" And then he showed me where the bathroom was, and then I just kind of hung out with my friend Michael and Becca for the remainder of the time there, and then...
Didn't Bloomberg use NDAs to silence victims of assault at his company, though? From my understanding, I'm pretty sure that was a scare tactic, right? Wasn't Bloomberg with the NDA thing a scare tactic? I think there are like specific NDAs, like you could have an NDA that's specifically signed to like, hey, we're going to give you money and you're going to sign an NDA, or we're going to bribe you so you can't talk about it. Yeah, those are parts of settlements where you're like, okay, listen, you're not going to take this to the police, and we're going to sign an agreement. You're going to agree to this amount of money or this amount of whatever you want, and you're not going to come to the public with this. You're not going to try to press charges for this. I believe that's how it works. Yeah, those were settlements, not NDAs. They're not the same thing. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, which is basically where, let's say you're invited to demo test an upcoming video game, and the details of this video game that you're going to be demoing are secret. They are not meant to be public, but they need demo testers to play it and you know, give it a test, right? You'll most likely sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, which says legally speaking, you are not going to come out and start leaking stuff that you saw in this demo test of this game that you played. So it's more of a way to put a legal protection behind information.
Jake came up to me and he asked me for my phone number at some point. And even though this was like a year and a half ago, I do still have the phone that I had at the time, so I have all the messages and everything.
Ooh, okay. Okay, that's right there. A lot of the time, people trying to disregard or discount the accusations of a woman who's been sexually assaulted or abused will try to say, well, what evidence do you have? Which is valid. You know, you don't want to, it is nice to have evidence, but that's good because she has screenshots of text.
And then I just kind of hung out with my friend Michael and Becca for the remainder of the time there. And then Jake came up to me and he asked me for my phone number at some point. And even though this was like,
I don't think anyone is claiming that she had never met him. No, actually, I don't think anybody is claiming that. Anybody who knows what's going on, because she has evidence to prove that they did know each other and that she was there. However, if she didn't have that evidence, the absolutely first go-to thing would be, well, how do we know that she's even ever met him? You know?
Like a year and a half ago, I do still have the phone that I had at the time, so I have all the messages and everything.
Justine, hi B, hi, how was your night? And just starting, did you get your tattoo, or do you mean last night?
Everything. He was really awkward. I don't know if it was just me, or if he's like this with everyone. I mean, I don't think he's like this with everyone. I don't know. But he was really awkward when he was talking to me. Like, to me, it reminded me of, like, middle school, because he would text me even if I was, like, in the same room as him.
Yeah, something to note about these, like, hype bros. I call them hype bros. Is that, like, a good name we can call people like Jake Paul and Logan Paul and the people in their little clique? I call them hype bros. I feel like that's the best way to describe them. Be careful when you text your fans. To be fair, she had never even seen any of his content, so it's hard to say that she was a fan. Hype beasts? Yeah, I guess hype beast is a good one. Yeah, hype beast or hype bro. Yeah. Texting in the same room. Yeah, these hype bros, these hype beasts, whatever the fuck you want to call them, have a very middle school, high school mindset. Yeah, hype cunts. I think hype cunt is a better word for them. They are hype cunts. Yeah, these hype cunt types are very, their brains are permanently stuck in middle school or high school at the latest. They're very immature and very high on their own power. KK, bet babe, you look so good. Thank you. How are you? Why are you texting me when I'm in your house? Haha. 'Cause you're cute, lol. Shall I come up? Yeah, come here. Let's hang tonight. I'm getting food with a friend tonight, but I can come after if you're down. Also, you have to speak to me and not text me from across the room. Lol, of course, we'll kick it. Normally I'm working. They're literally in the same room, and he's like asking her out, or asking her to hang out. Jesus Christ, what a fucking cringe lord.
I can put up the text here. I'm not sure exactly how many times I went to his house.
The earliest text I have with Jake is June 1st, 2019, and the last he responded was July 20th, 2019, the night of the assault. There you go. Just an estimate, probably
because they basically had someone recording in the studio that they have there, like, every day.
He said probably, like, I think she said, like, probably 6 times.
They basically had someone recording in the studio that they have there, like, every day. And just, like, a bunch of people there hanging out. Not necessarily a party, but just, like, they were just really popular and always had people there, so they would ask me to come over. Not just my friend, Michael, but Jake, too, would text me and ask me to come over. Texts here.
Come get tatted, lol, right now? I will. Yeah, pull up, B. Are you coming? I don't want to interrupt your filming. I'm chilling with blank in the studio. KK, bet babe.
He would ask me to come over, I would, and then when I was there, he wouldn't talk to me, like, to my face. He would say hi to me, and then he would go do other stuff, and he would be texting me. And to me, it felt like, you know, have you ever been in, like, middle school, and you're with your crush, but you're too afraid to tell them that you like them, so you text them, and it's really awkward, but it's middle school, so it makes sense to be that awkward and weird. That's what it reminded me of. He would be like, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm downstairs or whatever, like, I'll come up, and then he would still text me even though I'm in the same room, and I just felt uncomfortable because why can't you just talk to my face if I'm here? But I just figured he had bad social skills. Like, I didn't know anything about him before, but after I met him, I kind of, like, looked him up a little bit, and I guess he's been famous for, like, a long time. So I'm just assuming he always got what he wanted and never had to build, like, social skills and talking to people.
Yeah.
Like, girls basically...
Yeah, probably. When you're as popular as somebody like Jake Paul. I believe Jake Paul's popularity came, like... correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he was in some Disney shows, like some Disney, like, preteen, teen show type shit. And then he, like, blew the fuck up on Vine. I believe he was part of the Viner invasion of YouTube. And then very quickly, after Vine shut down, he blew the fuck up on YouTube after all the Viners migrated here. He was Vine first, then Disney Channel? Okay, so he was in high school and he was on Vine, and then Logan and him moved to LA, and then Logan got him on Disney Channel, and then they both blew up on YouTube. Okay, makes sense, yeah. Sounds like, considering that, you know, they're both very popular for a long period of time, Logan seems like the more stable, more likable of the two. But, yeah. Jake, on the other hand, everyone's always thought that Jake Paul was a douchebag, since, like, he first came to YouTube.
They just, like, throw themselves at him, which is what I was seeing there. Like, girls were just throwing themselves at him, and he would go to his room with a different girl, like, multiple different girls every day. Like, that's just what happened. It was fine, whatever. One of these days, I was in the studio. Some people were recording down there, and Jake, like, pulled me into this little corner area in the studio and started kissing me. And I was fine with that. I did think he was cute. I did want to kiss him. That is fine. That wasn't the issue that he kissed me there. It was weird because the place that he kissed me was, like, in front of everyone, so it kind of felt like he was showing off to his friends that he was making out with me. That was a little weird, especially since, like, one of my friends, Michael, was there. That was a little awkward for me, but it was fine. Flash forward a little bit. Jake grabs my hand and he starts walking with me, and I thought it was cute. He was just, like, talking to me, being nice and whatever, so I was walking with him. And he brings me to his room. People have brought me to their room before, and I'm their friend, and they're literally just trying to show me their room, or they just want to talk to me away from the crowd of people, or sometimes they are, like, trying to do something sexual, but if I say no, they respect it, you know? So I didn't have an issue with following him to wherever he was bringing me in his house. I don't know. While we were in his room, it was, like, pretty cool. There's a big, like, aquarium with a bunch of fish in there and stuff. We were just talking about, like, I was like, where are you from? And he's like, Ohio. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, what part of Ohio, whatever. We were just talking, and he was just like, you care about what part? Like, no one actually cares. No one actually wants to talk to me. Like, the whole, like, I'm famous, no one actually cares about me, they just want things from me. I don't know if that's just, like, a...
That is a fucking manipulation tactic. Whenever, like, rich, popular people are like, oh, man, you really get me. You're actually interested in my life and my personality and everything like that. That gives me sus vibes right there. Now, I want to make it very crystal clear. Clear as the fucking oxygen, all right? Just because she went into his room with him and was fine to do that does not mean that what followed is her fault. I've seen motherfuckers on Twitter. I saw him last night saying, well, if she was so scared of getting raped, then why'd she even go into the room with him? Because clearly she was attracted to him. Clearly she was, like, kind of into him, thought he was cute, was cool with kissing him, though was not too happy about him doing it in front of everyone because it felt like he was just sort of showing off that he could do that. But just going into a room with a guy, going into a guy's room, it's suggestive, but it is certainly not consent. Consent is when you say, hey, you want to smash? And they say, yeah, I'm totally down to smash. If they say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, or no, I don't want to do this, that is not consent. You can also revoke consent. If you're in the middle of having sex and you decide, I want to stop, and the person doesn't stop, you have revoked the consent. You want to stop doing that. And if they keep going, that is now rape. All right. Just want to make that crystal clear. I know many of you already know this and it's very obvious, but just want to make it very clear where I stand on this.
Card he plays, like, like, oh, I'm just this famous person, but you get me, and like, you actually want to know who I am. We were dancing in his room, like ballroom dancing, you know, and then we were like kissing and stuff, and then he like took it to his bed. Sex is very special and very important to me, but I haven't had sex with that many people. I haven't. Normally, not all the time, but normally everybody respects me when I don't want to do sexual things, so I thought that it was fine if I went in his room, and I thought it would be fine to kiss him because I thought he would stop if I didn't want to do anything else. Like, that's normal, that's what you do. So anyway, we were on his bed kissing for a bit, and then every time he would like try to put my hand places or like try to put his hands places that I didn't want, I would just kind of move it away and be like, no, and then like, you know, just back to kissing. And then at one point he said, if nothing is going to happen, then what's the point? What's the point? I don't know, maybe I could be one of your friends, maybe I can just be someone that you kiss. Never ever.
Like taking a toy away from a child. That's how these hype cunts are. It's like taking a toy away from a child. They think they're fucking entitled to anything. Because they've gotten everything that they fucking want. Because they're so rich and successful that when a woman tells them no, they're like, what's even the point then, bro? Fuck off, dude. Fuck off, Jake Paul. Cunt. Alright, this is where I think where the story is going now. This is like cut and dry as fuck, by the way. This is cut and dry as fuck. She said no, don't put your hand there, don't do that, I don't want to have sex with you. And he is continuing to do it over and over again. He knows what he's doing is wrong, and he's getting mad when he hears the word no from a woman that doesn't want to have sex with him or let him grope her, right? Also, content warning, it seems like things are going to get a little bit more graphic in a moment.
Have I rejected someone's touches and they said, well, if nothing's gonna happen, what's the point? Like, what? But that is what he said, word for word. I thought that was weird. That made me uncomfortable. And then he gets up. He doesn't go away. This is the point where if what he wanted is sex, he sees he's not gonna get it. This is the point where we would just go elsewhere. You know, go back downstairs where everyone is. Go back to the studio. Like, he could even tell me to leave if he wanted to. If his sole purpose was to have sex with me and saw that that wasn't going to happen, he could tell me to leave. Yes, it would be like a jerk move, but he could have. But that is not what he did. When he got up, he undid his pants and grabbed my face and started fucking my face. I would like to say...
Alright. Okay. Now, that is just cut and dry rape. Alright? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's already said no multiple times to having sex or being touched in particular places, so that's just downright cut and dry rape. We're gonna get back to the video in a second, but first, I think this is a good time to show you a video from someone who I think we all know would be the first to jump on and start denying her accusations. So let's go ahead and hear a concern from a particular individual and debunk everything that he's saying.
Hey guys, I need to do a drama alert today on the Jake Paul sexual assault allegations, and quite frankly, I do not believe the alleged victim. And I don't want to just cover this real quick on drama alert without getting some pushback. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I'm not seeing a certain angle to the story. That's why I'm making this Twitter video, so I can be challenged before I put it on drama alert in front of millions of people. But this girl is claiming that Jake Paul, was kissing her, holding her hand, led her to her room. She didn't want to do any further stuff with him. And then Jake Paul, grabbed her head and started fucking her face. And within 30 seconds, busted a nut in her mouth. And she claims that she was sexually assaulted. Now, how does that happen? What? Wouldn't she have to open her mouth and participate in some way for that to happen? Can't you just turn your head, or can't you just get is there some way to force oral sex on someone? I mean, she's not saying that he had a weapon and was like, you better do this. You know, she is saying that he grabbed her head and started fucking her face and came in her mouth. I don't understand the physics here. Like, I don't understand how that's possible. Like, why? Like, can't you get away? Is there really no way to get away? Is there really no way to just close your mouth, like, and just not let the penis enter your mouth? Like, I'm sorry, but I just don't believe this story at all. Am I missing something here? Please challenge me. Please challenge me, right? Like, I don't want to go in front of millions of people, get called a victim blamer, and not have a piece of information that I should have. But, like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It sounds like BS. Please challenge me.
Where would we be without your Twitter videos, Keem? Well, I went ahead and I did challenge him. With this tweet. I didn't know anything about the accusations other than what Keemstar described. Having heard most of the story... Excuse me, I just ate like 20 nuggets. Having already, like, heard half the story now, it basically lines up more or less with what Keemstar said. So, outside of coercion or blackmail, which may have made this girl comply against her will, I'm sure this dude is fully capable of physically overpowering a woman and sexually assaulting her. I haven't seen the allegations, so I don't know if it's true, but it's definitely possible. So here's a picture of Jake Paul. He's a boxer now. He does a lot of boxing. The dude is perfectly capable of overpowering this girl who looks like she probably weighs like 104 pounds or something, 105 pounds. I don't know. She's not exactly... I don't think she would win the arm wrestle match between the two of them. Also... do you think she wants to go the rest of her life being known as the girl who bit Jake Paul's dick off? Don't get me wrong. I would be like, nice, you know? That would be my reaction. But like, do you understand how there could be some pressure there to let what happened happen? Just saying.
Say that I have only given oral sex to like 2 or 3 people before this, because that's really special to me. Honestly, more so than like penis vagina sex, because it's different with penis vagina sex. Mostly that's just like the only sense that's going into that is touch, you know? But when it's going in your mouth, that's touch, that's taste, that's smell, that's like, it's all in your...
True. Hold on, Lonnie, could you turn the AC back on? Because it's getting really hot. And then could you refill my water, please, babe? I appreciate that. Thank you.
Face, you know? What am I supposed to do? He was literally, I was still laying down. He was on top of me and like holding my head like into him. Like I couldn't even tell him not to. He didn't ask for consent or anything. Like, he knew I didn't want to do anything with him because he said, if nothing's gonna happen, what's the point? And then he just shoves himself in me. That's not okay. On no level at all is that okay. It didn't last that long though, because he came in my mouth, and honestly it was less than 30 seconds, so it didn't last that long. It was like 20 seconds, if that. He did that, I couldn't go anywhere because he was literally grabbing my head and shoving himself in me. At that point I was...
All right, to be clear, it sounds like that's pretty unrealistic. Like, oh, he came in like 20 seconds, right? But at the same time, when you're going through a traumatic experience, it's very possible for time, especially when it's been a couple years, it's possible for time to kind of... your memories don't really do a good job of capturing how long of a time it took, right? So realistically, I would guess it probably was more like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, which doesn't really make any fucking difference, but this is more so for debunking the people trying to disregard her story.
really confused and like, what the heck just happened? Why did that happen? I was like, what the heck? So I just like kind of rolled over on his bed. I'm like, what the heck? And then he cuddled me for like 0.2 seconds. He literally put his arm around me and then got back up and then walked over to his door and he's like, okay, let's go back to the stew. And I'm just like stew as in studio for those that don't get it. Yeah, all right, let's go back to the stew. And I was like, okay, let me just like fix my hair and makeup first because it was all messed up. And I went to his bathroom that's connected to his room. I was trying to and he's like, no, let's go. And I'm like, why would you sexually assault me and then not even let me like fix my hair and makeup? Like, I don't want to leave your room looking like this. I didn't want to be looking like that at all. Like, that's embarrassing to have like my makeup all like going down and like my hair all messed up. It's obvious that sexual things happen. I don't know. So I'm like, no, I'm going to fix this. And then like I just like fixed my hair and makeup as fast as I could. He grabbed my phone.
So a lot of people will probably be wondering now, why did she not immediately go to the police or immediately make this public, right? Why didn't she do that? Well, you have to understand, this girl has how many subs? Right now, she has 9,000 subs on her channel, and this video has 300,000 views. The vast majority of the subs probably come from this video. So chances are, this girl probably had no ability whatsoever to out this dude, socially speaking. It is extremely unlikely that she would have had the ability to do this, that she had the platform to out him without facing unbelievable amounts of backlash from one of the largest YouTubers in the platform, that is Jake Paul, not to mention all of Jake Paul's friends that would probably come up to bat for him. So there's also the fact that she was probably trying to process what had just happened. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, many of those subs probably come from this video. She probably had like 1,000 or 2,000 before this video came out. Plus, she's most likely poorer than Jake Paul, and he could have slap-suited her for defamation. I would not put it past Jake Paul and Jake Paul's legal team to engage in like endless slap suits to bankrupt her. Because there's Jake Paul definitely has the money to do that, to just slap suit her into silence. For those of you guys who don't know what a slap suit is, so a slap suit, for those of you guys that don't know, at least here in America, to sue somebody costs money on both sides, no matter how stupid the lawsuit is. So essentially, you can, it's like, what's the word for it? Zerging. It's like zerging, where you just keep throwing lawsuits at somebody because you know you have more money than they do, so you can afford to keep on starting lawsuits, and they can't afford to keep on defending against them once it reaches a certain point. So you basically silence someone by repetitively suing them for bullshit, right? And she probably didn't go to the police because she thought the NDA, she didn't know until recently, that's why she only made this video now, she didn't know until recently that she could come public with this because the NDA that she signed when she first got there. So she thought she was being, like, silenced by the law. She thought it was illegal for her to come out with this story up until recently.
And at the time, I had a phone that was pretty old. I'm not one to keep up with updating my phone, you know, when everyone gets the new phone and stuff. And it's this one, so it's like pretty small. This is the size of phones like now, also about the size of what they would have been then. But this one was my phone, and as you can see, it's tiny. So when people were asking me for my number and like putting their number in my phone and stuff, they'd be like, oh, your phone is tiny. Like, I was really judged on not updating my phone. I don't know, maybe they're like, she's poor. I don't know. Yeah, basically everyone there would make fun of my phone because it's small and old and like an artifact. And Jake, at this point in his room, after I'm trying to like fix my hair and makeup and stuff to get out, he picks up my phone. He was like, come on, let's leave, get your dinosaur phone and let's go. And I was just like, wait a second. Because up until this point, he had been nice to me. He had been sweet to me.
Yeah, this completely makes sense to me. One thing I want to point out right now is that she comes off as very genuine to me. Either this girl is an amazing actor and like a fucking god tier manipulator. Like, this girl needs to be hired by the fucking CIA or the FBI or the US government, because this girl could like literally be a secret agent for the fucking government or something, or she's being genuine, because everything that she's described, the way she's talking, the way she's describing the events, all make complete sense to me. She strikes me as pretty damn genuine, both in telling the story and her behavior while telling it. Comes off as very genuine to me. She's not crying or anything. She's just telling what happened. You can tell that she's trying not to cry. But she's not, like, playing it up in a way that would, like, come off as disingenuous to a lot of people. She sounds very genuine to me.
Even though he was a little socially awkward and sometimes just like texting me instead of talking to me when I was right there, when he was talking to me, it was nice and sweet. So this complete 180 and like being sexually assaulting me, being just like straight up rude, that was just on top of that extra rude. Like, who cares? Who cares if someone updates their phone? But let me tell you, the only person I ever saw there that didn't say anything about my phone or anything negative about my phone, I think his name is Diablo. He has like the moon tattoo, red hair at the time. He was nice. He put his number in my phone. He was the only person who saw the size of my phone and that it was an older phone. He was like, hey, that's cool that you don't care about updating it. It's cool that you don't care about that kind of thing. But everyone else made fun of me there for it. It's really weird. After that,
yeah, the hype cunts, a lot of the hype cunts at these places are like obsessed with material possession because they're so wealthy and like famous that they shame others for not being. They're very vapid, right? So, you know, this makes sense to me. This isn't surprising to me. I remember being in middle school and even in high school when I would go to swim practice and people acted very similar to this. So I know where this is coming from. I know that this makes sense.
That my friend Michael found me crying and was asking me what's wrong, and I told him what was wrong and that Jake Paul fucked my face without consent. He was telling me, that's really messed up, I'm so sorry that that happened to you, I'll talk to him for you. And I just stayed there with him and my friend Becca for a bit, crying, and they were just like both being there for me.
I actually stayed with them for the rest of the night because it was too late to drive home. I took this snapshot while I was still there. You can see by the location that I was in Calabasas. Is that a place? Sounds like a fantasy location. And my face was puffy from crying. Yeah. Yep, Calabasas, California. I assume it's where the hype house is. That's the date when she said it happened. 8:30 a.m. Well, that's the day after because she had stayed up all night. Clearly, she had been up all night crying. You can tell. Yeah. The blue hair won't... Yeah, how much do you want to bet you're going to see reactionaries calling around and being like, blue hair? Yeah, because they lose their shit if they see a woman with, like, colored hair.
And then I went home. There was no contact between me and Jake after this.
I was invited back over by other people that lived there. I wanted to talk to him about what happened, but he didn't respond anymore after the assault. Hey, blank and blank invited me over, but the guards are telling me I need a code to get in. Never mind, I'm good. Hi, what are you doing tonight? So yeah, she's trying to contact him, but he's not responding.
And I texted him a few weeks later, and I was just being normal, and I was like, hi, do you want to hang out? He didn't give me a response or anything. You might be wondering like why I would want to hang out with someone who did that to me, and that is because I wanted to talk to him about how that made me feel. Because somewhere in my brain I was thinking, what if he didn't do this to me on purpose? What if he didn't know how this made me feel? Like, what if he just does this to everyone because he's so socially awkward and thinks that this is what they want? I just want...
Okay. There is a huge misconception, particularly among men, because most men haven't been sexually assaulted. It's something that happens to women much more. Usually, there's this misconception that when someone is sexually assaulted or raped, that a switch flips in their brain, and they immediately hate that person, they want to avoid them, and they want to go to the police and seek justice. That's usually what people think would happen, because logically, that's what you would do, right? Like, if you're like a logic bro who's never gone through the situation, you're like, if this happened to me, I would immediately go to the police. Be sure to save any evidence that I possibly can, make sure I have the strongest case I can possibly have, because that's like a very logic bro perspective to have. It makes sense. That's what you would want to do, right? The problem is, realistically, in a lot of cases, if someone is sexually assaulted or raped, they try to justify it. There are certain methods for trying to cope with trauma that you've dealt with that can lead to you behaving in ways that, from the outside looking in, seem very illogical and perhaps even dumb, but it's just human psychology. She was in a situation where her first instinct wasn't to think that this was malicious. She wanted to try to talk it out, try to figure out why he did what he did. She didn't want to feel like this dude, this guy that she'd been friends with, this massive figure, was a predator. Though, by the looks of it, that's what ended up being the case. And a lot of people are going to call her out for not immediately going to authorities or trying to talk to him again or hang out with him again. Like, why would she do that? But somebody who's been traumatized by rape or sexual assault isn't typically going to be thinking with, like, the logic bro perspective. It's just not how the human brain works most of the time.
Wanted to talk to him and tell him, hey, I didn't consent for this. It made me feel so awful. I've literally only done this with like 3 people in my whole life because it's so special to me and you just took that from me. But I couldn't tell him because he never responded. And I'm hoping that my friend Michael talked to Jake. If he ever did talk to him, I don't know. I never got an apology or anything like that. I would have liked to have an apology.
By the way, because I know people are going to talk about this, I have met men, cis, straight men, who have been sexually abused before or raped, and oh, no video, I apologize, and have had the exact same thing happen to them, where they didn't come forward about it, or they tried to justify it, or they tried to, or there were all sorts of coping mechanisms that they went through. This isn't just a woman thing. Men, when this happens to men, the same thing can happen. It's just typically, most of the time, men aren't the one that end up getting raped. It's usually women getting raped by men, but it does happen.
Because that was messed up and I didn't want that, and I didn't say, like, just because I let you kiss me and I let you hold my hand and I let you dance with me in your room, that doesn't give you the right to come in my mouth. If Jake ends up seeing this, honestly, I don't think it was anything significant to him. Like I said, there was a different girl with him every day. I don't even know if he would remember me. This is what I looked like at the time, Jake. Like, I met you when I looked like this, and that was wrong, and I would have liked an apology. And mostly I'm putting out this video, one, so Jake sees it, because that's not okay. And I've noticed a lot of men who harass or anything like that to girls, a lot of times they don't change unless it is put out publicly. Like, I was harassed by one person before, and he literally wouldn't stop. I kept blocking him and he kept making different accounts until I finally made a video about him, and then he finally stopped. And I found out he just moved on to other girls. But I'm saying this publicly about Jake Paul. Hopefully he's freaking embarrassed and realizes what he did and doesn't do it again, and ask people for consent. Like, is this okay? Like,
yeah, I'm getting mad genuine vibes from this. This comes off to me as extremely genuine. By the way, this should be obvious. Obviously, she's not, she's clearly not going to try to seek legal action for this or anything like that. I doubt that she could. But what her motivation seems to be here is to try to change his behavior. Maybe he'll stop doing this kind of shit, and maybe she can warn other women before this type of thing could happen to them. I would not be surprised if we see more accusations coming from more women in the future. I would not be surprised if this story ends up giving some motivation to other women who might have gone through this before. The motivation and the bravery to come forward sometime soon. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, do you want this? Like, and for people who say that consent isn't sexy, if you are in the moment with someone and you say, do you want me to fuck you?
Oh yeah, anyone who says that consent isn't sexy should probably be just listen, guys. Come on. We got a Nazi in YouTube chat saying men get raped more than women. Oh wait, it disappeared. Yeah, men get raped more than women. Zan, women don't have it as hard as men. There we go. See, listen, all right. These are the type of people that we have to combat the narratives of when we make these videos. You know, when I make a video like this is why I'm covering this, because you'd be surprised how many dudes think exactly like that guy.
You? Are you just afraid they're gonna say no? Ask. Yes, it is that he didn't ask. I am upset about that, but even more so, I know he knows that I didn't want to do anything sexual with him because he said out loud, if nothing's gonna happen, what's the point? And I'm just like I've tossed and turned, like, I've thought about this. I've thought about this literally every single day since it happened, but the more and more I think about it, the more I realize no one could be doing that and think that it's something right to do, you know? Like, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt for so long. I would like to say, I know a lot of people are going to assume that I'm just making this video for attention because
Xander Hall, even men don't trust other men. That's where the crazy redneck dad threatening to kill the daughter's BF stereotype comes from. You're completely fucking right. You are completely fucking right. Every single dude, hey, guess the fuck what, dude? Okay, if you're a dude that that is so confident that women are over exaggerating how often rape and sexual assault happens, go ahead and next time you're walking down the street in like a crowded city with your girlfriend, go ahead and just are you cool with her just taking a left and going down like a dark alley or two? You know, just her going by herself, going home on her own down some like dark alleys or through like a dark neighborhood or something. If you're so comfortable with it, you know, why do guys typically give girls a ride home instead of letting them getting them an Uber or letting them drive home on their own? Why do dads tend to be very protective of their daughters? Because as dudes, we all know how dudes think. We all know how a lot of guys think. We all know how dangerous men can be. Can be, not are, but can be. There's a lot of creeps out there. Something we have to acknowledge. Something I try to make an effort with my content to change. You know, understanding consent, why it's important, how to protect yourself from this kind of stuff, supporting those that come forward with accusations like this, and helping platform their accusations. It's important. Chris SSS says, didn't someone try to do this with Justin Bieber last year when the Me Too thing happened and we found out the girl was lying? I don't know anything about that story, but there are cases where women have lied about large public figures with this stuff. And at the end of the day, you kind of have to go off of the evidence that's there. And that's the most that you can do. Here, it seems the evidence she's able to put forward lines up, and I believe her. And she seems pretty damn genuine.
There's always those people who don't believe you. And honestly, I'm saying this for the girls that will be in my place. The girls who are just going to hang out with their friend, but they end up meeting him. For the girls who maybe want to hang out with him. Now you know, or even if you don't believe me, at least it'll be in the back of your mind when you're with him, you know? That's what I'm doing this for. Am I doing this for attention? Yeah, I do want attention on this, because it's a problem that's real and deserves attention, so.
I'm sure someone will get mad about that quote.
It's the Sistine Chapel, but...
Additional proof that I was there, part is silence for my friend's privacy. Oh my Jesus Christ, that is cringy. Oh my God, these fucking hype cunts. They literally have themselves, like, painted like the top of the Sistine Chapel, like some fucking Leonardo da Vinci shit. Oh God. I can't tell if that's supposed to be Elon Musk as God or somebody else. I honestly can't tell. Dude, taste is just wealth is wasted on tacky fucking people, dude. Have you seen it was Michelangelo? Same shit, okay? Old fucking painters that were alive a billion years ago, okay? Is that the England is my city guy? That does look like the England is my city guy. Oh God. Oh Jesus, God, dude! Like, if you've ever seen one of those shows where they where they go over like rich people's houses, it is just rich people. A lot of rich people. Yeah, Nick Crompton is his name. Yeah, rich people have like the worst taste. Have you seen Trump's taste? This. Oh God! Oh my God! She's just posting a shit ton of evidence now. Okay, this is Rubik's Cube is in the front yard. Oh, the Rubik's Cube is in the front yard of the Rubik's Cube, the big art installation in the front yard of the Team 10 house. This person is scribbled out for privacy. That's her at the Team 10 house. This is what it looks like from the other side. There's Jake with it. So there's the There's the art installation thing that we were talking about, the Rubik's Cube. These are texts of him inviting me over the day of the assault. It happened night of 19th / early morning of the 20th, I think around 3 a.m. Hi, how are you, B? Good, how are you? What are you up to tonight? I'm Gucci, not sure yet. Maybe in the studio with this dope rapper. We should kick it down, come later, will do. When shall I come? Now, whenever. We vibe, we giving, we vibing. So he meant to say we vibing, but said we giving. Leaving soon, and like a sparkling thing. Party emoji. What's the code again? Because there's a code to get in. I'm here. There's the code. Then another code. Hi, where are you? Hi, you disappeared. Yeah, we're in blank room. Me and blank. What you doing now? Hey, blank and blank invited me over, but the guards are telling me I need a code to get in. Never mind, I'm good. Hi, what you doing tonight? So yep, that now you can see after the assault, the messages all went unreciprocated. He did not respond after the assault happened. I believe her. I'm going to subscribe to her too. I'm going to go ahead and drop the video in chat right now. I recommend that all of you go like it and share it to Twitter or whatever social media. At the very least, give it a like and everything. Like, help. Give it a view, give it a comment, send some support, help it, you know, in the algorithm. We want people to see this. We want this to be seen as much as possible. It came off to me as extremely genuine. And yeah, overall, I'm pretty damn pleased with it. I mean, I'm not pleased, but like overall, I believe her. I think it's very much, she's telling the truth. Yeah, the like ratio will hopefully go up until we see more of Jake Paul's audience stumble across this, because something you have to understand about Jake Paul's audience is that they are very, very... They're very young and very immature, and they come to bat for Jake Paul constantly. So I find it very likely that this video will probably get dislike bombed, especially... depending on what Keemstar said in his Drama Alert episode. Did he, like, double down on it during his Drama Alert episode? Let's see. 1 day ago, 8 minutes, it has nearly 1 million views. This is way more... This video has more views than the accusations and overwhelming like to dislike ratio, so let's find out whether or not Keemstar backpedaled on the not believing her thing.
What is up, Drama Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news!
Jesus Christ, watching these on 1.25 speed, it's like nightmare fuel. You need to mod some people in Twitch chat and YouTube chat, clearly. I'll take care of the raid in Twitch chat in a minute.
We might see KSI versus Logan Paul in the WWE. Yes, it's unbelievable. We got that story for you. Also, we have Borgs finally admitting that he stole Mr. Beast video ideas. Unbelievable. David.
Oh, Jesus God, this is so fucking obnoxious. I haven't watched a Keemstar Drama Alert video in so fucking long. Do we just watch the whole video? I'm just trying to see the his segment on the accusations. Where is it? I bet he's gonna save it for last. Wait, does he not even go over it? Wait, he didn't. I'm scrolling through it now and we haven't even seen... He didn't even go over it. Did he? Yeah, no, he didn't even go over it. He covered Logan Paul, Tommy in it, and some other people.
Dobrik has returned to the internet with some new content, and also Dom from the Vlog Squad. After all these allegations, he's posted multiple TikToks. We're gonna cover that. YouTube versus TikToker boxing event. Guys, there is updates. They had a contest. They had a bunch of YouTubers come out to try to win, to get in the car, and you won't believe who won. But guys.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, I don't think he did a video on it. I guess he decided to hold off. which I guess is admirable if he holds off a bit on it for more evidence. I don't know. I really hope he doesn't just come on and say that he thinks they're fake on fucking Drama Alert. That would be some insanely cringe shit, but that's basically all there is to cover. I mostly just wanted to platform the allegations because they seem pretty genuine to me, and I wanted to give a little bit of context to some of the arguments being made by people that aren't going to believe her, the "Me Too has gone too far" type people, you know? So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell icon if you haven't already, like the video, comment, all those things. You can support me financially by donating at xanderhall.com/live, or gifting subscriptions, or subbing yourself. You can donate or hit the join button through YouTube with Super Chat, or you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and join my fan Discord. The link's in the description. I appreciate all of that. Thank you. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video as much as you can with such a unsettling topic.